Okay, so trade imminent, right? So the trade machine worked, guys. Like, I'm making this video because of people panicking because the Raptors went to 1-3. So all over social media, we've got these like trade Pascal, trade Goran Dragic. We've got people coming up with trade machine deals and all the rest of it. And so it reminds me of what we were talking about in the summer when we were talking about trade Pascal for the youngsters from Golden State and all this other stuff, and how everyone was like, oh, it works in a trade machine thing, and we're in a full rebuild and everything else. And I was sitting there going like, no, Barnes is like really good. It's like getting Draymond at least, if not Ben Simmons, immediately out of the draft. And I think we're all now in agreement that this is the case. Like, he's looking that good. So give him half a season. He's only had half a dozen games, not even. Anyway, we're ready to trade Pascal because we're 1-3. That's why I'm making this, because all the little chicken littles are panicking at 1-3 and decide we're in a full-blown rebuild. The truth is, we are in a rebuild, but not the kind they think. We're looking to augment pieces we already have and have favorable contracts for. We've already been rebuilding. So just to show you, we did have a trade machine deal that I did go through, and this makes the money work. Pascal going one way for Miles Turner. Everyone's talking about how we need to go get Miles Turner. We get Chris Duarte and Jeremy Lamb, and that makes the money work. And so therefore we better just go get him. That's how these things work. So the comment that we had earlier was like, do you think Miles Turner is available? And this is because we're going to play the Pacers, and I just did a video about it. Kasha responded, we can target him as much as we want. He's not going to be available. And the idea was Dragic for him and stuff people have been proposing. This is, of course, absurd. Anyway, I say, yeah, totally agree with Kasha. It's not going to happen. 99% of trades we see online essentially just boil down to the Raptors saying, hey, you know that guy you have that's really good? We think you should trade him because if you add up their contracts, it equals almost the same amount of money. And I say, no joke, that is most trade discussions on the web. Did it work in the trade machine? Sure did. Well, Raptors should do it then. Hey guys, let's ask the Pacers how much for Miles Turner. What's that, Pacers? You actually scheme around his very existence on your roster? What do you mean you won't take Goran Dragic straight up? Like, that is essentially the type of trades we hear people talk about. If the trade machine adds up, the potential trade. Guys, teams build their teams around things. In Pascal Siakam's case, there is a rebuild imminent, but it's already happened. And guess what? It's literally happening around him as a player. So he doesn't need to be the number 1, 2, or 3 option. He's simply a guy we have on our team that we're like, okay, we can get that guy for a certain amount of money, get this guy OG for this money, get Freddie for this. Now, what do we need to go to the next step? Doesn't mean any of those pieces are permanent. Doesn't mean he'll never be traded. And we feel like the things we're bringing in, take him and OG, 2 things we already had, combine with Freddie, and put them all together. Now, a lot of people think that because we're going long arm monster lineup that we've talked a lot about, that means we want to do that with all of our players, all 5 of them on the floor at all times. Now, we might run some lineups with Banton and stuff like that where that's the case, but a lot of the times when we want to switch into our zones require a chaser. And it's one of the things that's been so impressive about Gary Trent Jr. so far this season is that we were worried about his defense. Could he do what Freddie does in defense? Gary Trent Jr. has been incredible so far on defense. Incredible. So there's a lot of promising things with the lineup. We are building around these players, not just Pascal. When you are making a roster that is designed to be next man up and everybody's got to eat, you're not making a roster that only wins if those 3 players are healthy. Like the Nets, last year they got kicked out because if they lose any of those 3 guys, they spent all their money on freaking 3 guys. You need 14. If you choose not to save money for your bench, then you can't win. And that's why you have ring chasers on teams for like $1 million, Blake Griffin. The thing is that our team is not as susceptible to injuries as other teams. So if we can stay around 500, we can win. Anyway, enough rambling. I just wanted to say, just because you can do something in a trade machine does not mean it's gonna happen, guys. Enjoy the Pacers game tomorrow night. Remember, there's a prediction video on the web. And don't forget, it's all hilarious, not just for us, but for all the teams. They're not going to trade key assets like Miles Turner for Goran Dragic straight up. Thanks for your comments. Have a great day. What the hell, Kawhi? Did you just dump your water on me?
I don't even know where you're sitting at.
That's bullshit, Kawhi. Your laugh is
This
stupid.
is Chef's Kiss approved. Mwah!